This is maybe a little too ambitious, but I'm going to try to show you how to do some 3D printing stuff. There's probably a hell of a lot more to know. I can't teach you everything that you want to know, but here's some things. All right, so here's my mechanism. And let's say that I wanted to print out this gear and handle thing together. So I'm going to go to this, and this is a subassembly. I'll open it up. And you can see that I have made an assembly with a gear and a handle here. So I will save as and pull this down and go to the STL file right here, that STL. And now I will save it. I tend to want to keep all my printing files someplace useful. I'll go ahead and put it up here into a directory I call 3D printing, and I'm going to go to the temp file right there. So it's actually, I have it already named right in there, but I'll put some other files in here. So here's my crank handle with gear, and I'll hit save. It's on STL, remember, save type as, and it's going to have me replace. And then you'll see that it gives like this little preview looking thing. Just say yes. All right, so now it has saved that STL file. While we're at it, let's go ahead and grab some other things and perhaps open them up. All right, so we'll open up this gear. You got to be careful not to change anything. It'll get mad at you. It doesn't want you to change anything. So I recommend not changing anything to this because it can affect the other gears, right? We can now, however, save as and go to our STL. It'll probably give us some kind of angry message, but you'll see that it's trying to save it in that other directory. I'll come back up and go to my documents, my 3D printing, and my temp, and save it right in here. I'm going to close it so I don't mess anything up here. I could do a couple other things. Maybe let me open up this one, save it as an STL, and maybe save one other thing. I don't mean to waste too much time doing this. Has it doesn't save it as my temp yet here. Let's see. I'm going to go back up to that. Go to temp. Where'd you go, temp? There, boom. STL. Yep, we got it. And one more thing. Okay, so I'll just pick one more item. Maybe I'll pick that. Oh no, I decided. Okay, I'll pick this now. I mentioned this one in class, and I'll talk a little bit about it. So we'll save as. Just to give you some idea of some decision making that you might have to do when making these. All right, no, I don't want file. Sorry, I want temp right there, and let me go STL. All right, so we have a bunch of STLs. Now we want to go and put these into a slicer, and I use Ultimaker Cura. You can look up on a website. Here you go. It's opening up right now, but I'll go to Ultimaker Cura. Boom. And you could download the software for free. Get the whichever one that you need to use for your machine, and you can get it through there. So let's see. Here's what it looks like when it opens up. And when you first start the thing up, it will ask you what your printer is. So make sure you look at your printer. The one I have in my office right now is an Ender3 V2, and it says that right on the bed on a little nameplate. I'll show you that when I switch over to my camera. The one in the that I have for ASME, that is in Dana 424. That is also a Creality Ender3, but I think it's an Ender3 Pro. So you could, like, if I wanted to add a printer, the non-Ultimaker ones, right? So you could, from this pull down, you can get all these different brands. Like here's the Creality, and you can see here. And by the way, you can also update the most recent version of Ultimaker Cura. I think I have an old one that I'm using right now. But you could see that, like, here is the Ender3 Pro right there, right? So that's also one that I might want to add in. And when you add it in, it'll ask you about some other specifics. These are usually going to be correct, so you don't have to change them. But it already knows the basic parameters. And so now you can see that I have 3 different ones. I have my Ender5, the Ender3 Pro, which is the one that's marked with the ASME upstairs, and here's my Ender3 V2, which is sitting right behind me, but you can't see it. The bed plate on this, as you can see, is looks a little bit. It even put a little symbol onto the thing, but it's the same dimensions as the bed plate that you have on your on the 3D printer. The weird controls, I don't like them. Let's see, what is this? The left click doesn't do anything. Roller, if you hold it down and slide, it goes this. If you just roll the slide, it goes back and forth. Right click button, hold down, you can move like that right there. There's a bunch of information up here on the right hand side. So you can just go to like some standard things, like right here, and change what the quality is. But I'm looking for the place. There's one where these are here's. I'll go back to recommended. There you go. Here's recommended standard quality. A bunch of dumbs things down. You might like put something like on there, and you can make some. You can say give it some support. So here's dumbed down. If you want to do something else besides there, you go custom, and now you can start to see all these other numbers. And then you can even deeper dive into these and go into much more advanced settings. You really want to do these if you're having trouble and it's not working well. If you want to refine some things, that is true that you might have to do it. And there's expert as well. Really don't want to go into that. You want to try to fix things as they come up slowly. If there's anything that you're going to change, it's probably going to be the temperatures and the support and some of the adhesion stuff. All right. But we'll talk about that in a second. So the first thing, and a lot of these things are default. Like we're going to use a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. There's 0.2 millimeter thickness, a layer thickness. These are pretty standard things, then we'll leave them in. So let's put in something we can create a new project, but we can just use the same project over and over again, where we want to open up a file. So I'm going to come up to my 3D printing, and there's my temp. All right, so here's the stuff I put in there. Here's the ground. Let's just talk about the ground. So this is a big piece, and it's going to take up a lot of space. And so I just opened up that file, and it came in. Now this thing is printing the wrong, this is the flatter side over here. So it makes sense for that one to be downwards, and the one where I've made some thickness changes should be on the other side. So first thing we do is we click on that piece, and I think there's a couple ways to do this that I can't recall, but we have really basically 2 controls when we click onto the thing. We can move it, so you could grab a right there, and you can grab a hold of the red guy, move him around. And by the way, when you see that he went off of the bed plate, so he changed colors right there. Grab a hold of the green guy. He doesn't want to move now. There you go, right there. But we would want to flip this over. So I grab a hold of him, and now I come over to the rotate. We don't need to do the scale one. We could leave that alone. And there's also another one. Here's the mirror. We don't need that. We don't need to do per modal. The only 2 real settings we need here is the move and the rotate. And we get this thing. You can see, well, if I want to flip it over, I could either do it with the green or I could do it with the red. There you go. I'm using the red one now. Tried to grab a hold of them. There you go. I flipped it over, and it has a snapping increments. The snap is on right there, and you can kind of see. I'm not doing a great job with this thing, moving this thing. There you go. It always messes me up. I wish it had the same tracking ball things as SolidWorks, but so it screws me up. You don't want to get too close to the edge. Although it'll say it'll do that, it doesn't really like to be too close to the edge. You see what we got right here? That's about as best you can do. So when I said to you, you don't want to make this thing any bigger, this little base thing any bigger than this, that was what I was referring to, that you really don't want to try to go for something any too big, bigger than I think this is 225 millimeter by 225 millimeter on this one. Other 3D printers, you might be able to get more spot. All right, so if I was going to use this right here, I would hit the slice button now with all of this information. Things I might need to change along the way are these two first big parameters: printing temperature and build plate temperature. Those will tell the 3D printer the nozzle temperature and the plate temperature, obviously. And those will be displayed on the 3D printer, by the way. There's other things that you can change. Try to speed it up or slow it down. This is one of the most important ones. Build plate adhesion. This is showing to make a brim. If you don't have to make a brim, I would go to none. I'll show you what a brim is here in a second. Let's go to none here. We also have support. There's no support needed in this piece, so we don't have to put any in there. Let's just hit slice, and it'll tell me this is going to take 8 hours and 13 minutes. That's a long time. So you could try to slow it down. You could try to speed it up by way of the infill, but we can only do so much. Like this infill right here, what you could do is you could make the infill density smaller, or you could try a different pattern, but I would just stick with it and have to suck it up with the 8 hours onto the thing. But you want to make sure you're watching this carefully, and if you want to start this, the first several layers are working really well. I find these Ender3s don't do great for this particular operation right here. I've made a couple plates where they started to lose their adhesion after several layers, and then the whole thing got ruined. So just be aware, I am not satisfied with the Ender3 when it comes to a big piece like this. So you can save it to disk, or you could, if you happen to have the little micro card that I'll show later on, if you have that, you can hit the save to disk and you put it in. It'll know that you have that little micro card in the USB slot, and it'll give you the option just to save it right to there. You can also go to preview here, and there's up here at the top. Previews be kind of boring on this one. It doesn't really show you anything of interest, but we'll show you why you would want to go to a preview onto there. There's also like a preview somewhere in here. I think it's the monitor, where it starts to show you give you like a simulation of what it would look like when it prints. It's kind of stupid. You don't need it. But let's get rid of this guy right there. I didn't save him. I didn't save that to the slice to disk. Maybe I should do it. I'll do the next one. All right, so here is one where I was just going to show you, like, maybe I want to do two things, right? All right, so this gear came up, and I want to rotate that, obviously. There is a thing called lay flat, and I can't find where the feature is now. Maybe it'll do it right here for me. No, I don't know why it's not doing it. There was a feature, I can't find it, where you just touch a face and it'll make that thing flat. And you can see there's a gap right here, so I don't know where the lay flat. There you go, lay flat. So I didn't have to do the last little bit. I'm going to make the motion, and now I'm going to give this thing some space, and maybe I want to put another piece on there. So I go add file, open file, and I decided, what is that thing? What does this one look like? It's not giving me a preview. There you go. This is the guy I wanted to add in there, and you can see it's printing that way. We don't like that. I think I would have gone back, as I mentioned in class, and I would have changed where this lightning piece was and made it onto the other side, because I think this one actually would benefit from. Let's see. This is going to be a weird one because I made it in a diagonal plane, kind of. So it's going to get angry at me. I think that selected, right? Okay, lay flat. No. And it adjusted. Okay, and you can look from the bottom. You can see it's blue is where it's touching the base right there. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that. And I might think about moving this around. If you had a lot of pieces, you can, if you're brave and you think it's reliably printing for you, you can try to nest these in a bunch of different ways. But you can see that by picking this side right here, it's going to have to do some support structure underneath there to be able to start picking up where there's gaps. So it might have been better to make the lightning on this side of the thing. Although, honestly, it looks better in the design for that thing to be on the outside in some respects. So I don't know. It's up to you. But recognize that it's better to not have support structure if you don't need it. Right there. And it's also for this round, so this is a good position for building up these round things as opposed to putting it on its side with the round things horizontal to make the round things in a vertical position. So that's some of the reason why I had it right there. And if you do the slicing on this, it'll tell you it's going to take 3 hours. But we really need that support structure in there. So we need to come back in here. Oh, it does say generate support. So right there, if I hadn't clicked generate support, it'll change it just a little bit. So it's a little bit less, but if you hit the preview onto the thing, you see that it's not there, right? But instead, I want to generate support. Boom. And that support is like everywhere, but you can also, touching base plate, there's other options in there for the thing. But anyway, we were in preview, that's why the thing was grayed out. We have to regenerate. So we slice this thing with the support, go to the preview, and we can see that little blue stuff? That's the support material that they're telling you about. I will also mention, we also have the choices of adhesion. I didn't tell you the different adhesion things. It says none right now. We could make a skirt, which I never understand why you want to make a skirt, but anyway, we make a skirt, we slice, and you can see what the skirt looks like. That skirt, that's that thing. Don't know why you need that. That never seemed to work right for me, by the way. You could have a brim now. Now a brim is a lot better than a skirt, but it takes more time now. You can see it's going to generate this little thing around there, and that helps to make a connection. All right, that can be a good thing. You could have a raft is going to take even more time. And see, you got 4 hours and 31 minutes. But what it does right there, it doesn't look that much different. Generally, it's making a bigger layers, and they adhedes to the piece, and then your piece adhedes to the raft. But you can also control what the raft looks like. So those kinds of build adhesion things are helpful. And there's more complicated adhesion things. But this becomes your biggest nightmare, is the adhesion. And lastly on here, all right, so let me go back to prepare. I'll delete these. And I just want to talk, well, I guess maybe I already kind of showed the thing, and this is already 18 minutes long. Here's the crank with the handle right there. And you could see that it definitely needs to have that support right there. You can't build that thing right in there. So let's see, do I have it as none? I'll have it as none is the adhesion, and I will have no generator support. You'll have, there's the slice, the preview. There's no way that can happen. So we could go here, generate the support, slice, and now you can see that's like a little hockey puck looking thing. I don't know if it's called a hockey puck, but you can see it. You have to be kind of careful. Those things can get knocked off, like mine did recently when I was printing, and I had to pay. I'm glad I paid attention. I was able to glue it back into place with some of the purple sticky glue things, but just want to be aware of that. I think that's everything I want to do. Let me see if I want to. I think I'm going to do the gear again. I'll do the gear. All right, so I'll go back to here, delete that. I will just put the gear by itself, open the file of the gear, put him into place. Whoops. Put that into there. It seems to me I should just be able to lay that flat. Just lay flat? No. Lay, what is it? Select a face to align with build plate. There you go. No? Alright. I'll do it. I'll do it. There you go. I don't know what I just did. Okay, but I got it. Let me hit slice. Let me preview it. Alright, great. I'll save to disk. I'm going to put it into temp again. Alright, now this is G code, and it gives it an extension on the front of it for some reason, but you want to make sure you remember what it is that you named. This was just called spur gear. Okay, so I saved it there. I'm going to do another version of this and see if this helps. Or I'm going to this time do a I'm going to do a raft, right? So that raft is going to take 2 hours and 28 minutes. My short attention span, I can't remember what I said over there. I'm going to go. It doesn't show up a whole lot of letters on the display for some of them, so I got rid of some things on the side. So that says raft, and so I saved it there. Let me do this again without the that thing here, none. And so you can see, okay, so it was like an 45 extra minutes to doing the other one. So I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to splice my iPhone video together with this to make one YouTube video, make it easier. So 22 minutes. See you in a little bit. All right, so here's the Creality Ender3, and you can see right in there that it says it's Ender3. Let's see. Does it say Ender3 Pro? No, this is the Ender. Sorry, it's Ender3 V2. All right, and what we want to do first is well, let's heat it up. Right, so I'm going to move over to this and come down and go preheat PLA, and you can see the temperatures right now. It's at 25, 28, going up out of 200, and then this is the bed temperature going to 60. Now while it's doing that, I will do the auto home thing, and that will move it based on these limit switches to this corner right there. You can see that this z-axis will come down and meet here into the limit switch, and you can see there's the. See, hit that limit switch, and now it's at home. With these little wheels right here, there's one at each corner, decide the bed level, and then there's one back onto the other side. Hopefully they're pretty close. What we want to do to level the bed and also to establish the gap is to either take a piece of paper, or it could be a card, like a business card, and see if it has the gap in there, right? So I'm using the card this time just because it's easier than the paper. I'm putting it underneath there, and there's a little bit of resistance. But this is right here at the corner. We need to move this. It's better to do the centering like maybe an inch from each of the edges and the four corners. Want to make sure we don't gouge the surface of this with the tip. So we do that by moving right here. So there's the move command, and we're moving in the X. Now I don't know why on this there isn't bigger increments. So this was actually pretty slow. Just the X and the Y. You can move the X. Here's moving the X is pretty slow. Right, and then click if you get out of it. Go down to the Y, and that moves the bed right there. We can see there's the gap. I gotta find a setting. There must be some type of place on here I haven't found, or I can't recall, where we could do this a little bit faster, this motion, because we have to do this a lot. So this is fairly tight. Of course, this card is thicker than a piece of paper. Generally, I would use the piece of paper. The card seems to work fairly well on here. So maybe I want to loosen this up. If I do, the way to do it, all right, so normally so if you take a look at the underside of this, if you tighten this, it's going to compress the spring. So that direction right there would be tightening, right? So if you're looking from the bottom. So it's kind of weird, it's kind of backwards, the sense. And by way of tightening, if you tighten that, that moves the bed downwards, right? Because it's on this little plate right down there that's being held. So if you want to open up the gap, you want to tighten it. So you want to go like this right there, and you can see that the card's very loose right there. So we want to go this direction. You can kind of feel a little bit of resistance. So more important than anything else is that you get it to be about the same everywhere on the bed. So here I can move it into the X direction. And like I said, I wish I could make this thing move faster than this. There are on some machines, there are some auto functions to bring it to these different corners. I gotta wonder if you risk scratching it. So you can already feel that this is tighter than the other spot. So I want to get to approximately the same kind of general distance from the edge. Right, so that's actually not as tight in there. So once again, going to counterclockwise opens up the gap. So that's a little easier right there. Maybe a little more counterclockwise. That's opening. And now I'm going to go clockwise just a little bit. Yeah, that feels about right. About the same. I'll do the same thing over here in the Y direction. I like to keep the card or the paper underneath there as you're moving it most of the time, to try to avoid gouging the surface. All right, so this is a process that's going to take a lot of effort for most. It's a bit of a learning curve. This actually feels about the same amount of resistance as that other one. There's a little bit of experimenting. So I'm going to go to the left here. And it doesn't hurt to do it do it a bunch of times and get it right, because the consequence of not getting this level is that it'll fail. The printing will fail. All right, so let's say that we got that level. Now we want to we go back to where we started. Now I'm back to here. We want to notice that we're at 200 degrees on the nozzle temperature and 60 degrees on the bed temperature. And I can check my bed temperature. Yeah, so we're right around there. We're right around 60 degrees. That's pretty close. Now I guess we're ready to try a print. One thing I'm going to do, I haven't done this. I cleaned the bed a little bit. Whoops, I need to go back. Excuse me. Go back to my prepare. I'm going to do my move. Let me move my Z-axis upwards. So it's going up. So I get this out of the way. And I cleaned this, or I tried to clean it with alcohol. It is pretty tough. It's still got some gum filled. I'm going to use this purple stuff on here. All right, so I don't need to go crazy with it. I actually don't need to do the entire bed because I'm only going to do the gear. So let me just do the. I don't want to waste this. Need to extend the thing out a little bit. This is just an extra, like a little bit of precaution to attempt to get it to adhere. Many people swear by this, and I had a lot of struggles for a while, and this stuff really helped. If you're in dire need, sometimes just cleaning the whole thing off and noting that this is going to change the thickness, and therefore you need to change the leveling of it. But you could put strips of this, and don't overlap it, but try to get them seen right next to it. You could put this on top of the bed if you're really can't get the adhesion to work, and that actually worked out pretty well for me a lot of the times. But so I got the purple stuff on there, and you can see it kind of like it has melted a little bit and cleared up. Let's try a print and see how it goes. And I'm going to try the same print on the other Ender3 and go through that just a little bit, and then splice these videos together. And we'll see. These are probably going to fail, but they might work. All right, so over to here, we're going to take, okay, so I had the two things. I had one is a raft. One was the raft and one is here. So I'll take both of those and I'll just bring them over to here. I think it'll copy it. It's not gonna, yeah, it's gonna copy it. And then I'll eject it. Eject, can I eject? No. There's the drive right there, right? Eject. No, I'm just taking it out. Screw it. So, taking it out, and it's kind of hard to see because this thing's in the way. But you have a slot for the microcard, and be careful. Some of these, the housing, there's a gap in the housing. There is at least in my Ender5. Oops. So you have to be careful not to, so that I just moved that thing. Let me move this stupid thing out of the way. There you go. Yeah. It's going to be a great video. People are going to love this. Awesome. And put it into place. And we're going to go to print. And let's try the one without a raft first. Starts thinking about it. Move it in place. Goes to home. This is like watching paint dry. While I'm doing this, I'll show you my Ender5. Right here, you can see I got a lot of glue residue on there. Here's the problem I had right there. You can see there's like a little gap when you put the card in here, and it can fall. You could accidentally put the card in down there underneath the thing. You have to be careful to put it upwards instead of accidentally down into there. I have let me put it back into the reader. All right, let me take a look at here first and see what I think. All right, so we're just starting out, and it decided that it needed to change the temperature. I'm not sure why, but it's waiting for the temperature to come back on. I'm trying to do this one-handed. Nope, that's not gonna work. All right. I just didn't want to splice the thing together. There's no pause on the iPhone recording, so I'd have to splice them together. There you go. It does this all the time. It makes a single strip right there. There you go. Make a little single strip over to the side. Don't know why it does that. Must be almost thinking of it as being a handshake. But that is sort of a test. If that thing doesn't stick, then the chances of your other ports of the thing sticking aren't very good. That feels like it's stuck. It decides to draw the outline of the thing. And once again, if this first layer doesn't stick, you have to give up and try something else. maybe make the bed, increase the bed temperature, which means you have to go back to the splice, or do the raft thing, but you might want to just abandon. You can also see, oh, look at that, see already. See, if that happens right there, it's time to quit. You have to do something else. So we want to clean it up and start again. But that happens pretty often. That first little bit. Sometimes it's the filament isn't very good filament. But that okay, so you're also going to see after it does these little outlines, it's going to start trying to color them in. You can already see it picked up the old stuff. So we're going to have to abandon ship here and come over and hit stop. Yes. Parking. Please wait until done. But you can see we have failed. Our mission has failed. And we can pick it up. Might have to scrape it off. All right. But see, I had cleaned the thing up, and so there's not like a really good base thing of glue down. I have to try something else. So let me hit stop, and I will splice in another attempt. I think maybe I think it's more glue. I'm gonna try more glue. Let's see. Coming back. So I've restarted another print, this time with the raft. I made a mistake in the slicing, and I think I accidentally used the settings for the Ender3 Pro for this one, where this is actually the Ender3 V2. You can see that the raft looks like it's sticking pretty well, but you never know. Sometimes these lift up. So we'll come back and check on them. Okay, the raft is looking pretty good. I don't see it lifting up anywhere on the bed. It takes a little bit more time to create the rafts, and of course uses more PLA, but can be worth it if you are having adhesion problems. Here is another Ender3. This is the Ender3 Pro. It says it somewhere in there. I don't know if you can see it. Well, it won't zoom out. There you go. Ender3 Pro. There you go. You'll see it. Hasn't been used as much. It's I bought this for ASME. I'll put the other Ender3 right next to it. Let's try, I'm going to try this filament here first, this purple. I'll load it up. Of course, I got to do it one-handed because I am trying to make a video. I should just cut and paste another thing in there. All right, so we put this up here. Do I want to go? No, I want to go the other way. Go down this way right here, and probably want to trim off some of the end. Let's see, do I have the little snipping tool? I do not have the snipping tool. We'll come and get it out of the box. It's an exciting video. Here's my threat to people. Okay, so I'll make a nice little snip off of the end here. Somebody has made this little accessory to try to get the help redirect the piece. This is where, right here is the hole that it needs to feed into, right in there. Quite often, I don't think we need. I guess they won't. Whoever made this thing kind of put it in the way, so I guess I'll use it. I guess I have to go through this. There's a whole bunch of accessories people have made. I think there's a little bit of irony, maybe, that they're 3D printing things for their 3D printer. I think I have to put the phone down before I can get that in there. Most of the time what you do is you'll squeeze this handle here, and one of the difficult parts sometimes is to get it lined up with the other side. So it has to go past the extruder right here. You can see that little gear right there moves, and this pushes between there so it gets shoved. It has to go through this little tube and all the way up. A lot of times you can just push it through, but you have to kind of like push this little handle in, and that kind of like separates the thing out like that to be able to get the piece in. But you can see that it's kind of stuck in there. So I'm gonna have to splice another video here. So okay, so I got that filament placed into there. And usually you can kind of see through this opaque, but a little bit transparent, so you can kind of see as it comes back in. I leveled this bed just a little while ago. Now the controls to this one look a little bit different. They're a little older. Here's your temperature, here's the nozzle temperature, here's your bed temperature. We can do the little prepare thing first, right? So go to the prepare screen and auto home, not a bad idea. It'll go to the same spot over here. I don't know the current state of how sticky. See, the thing has some dust on it, so a lot of times, I mean, it would be preferable not to use a lint-free type of towel, but you can kind of clean some of it off. You don't want to touch your oily hands to the thing. Some people will use alcohol spray or something to clean this off. I tend to go ahead and assume I'm going to need the glue, but let's see, did I bring it up here? Yeah, I did. Okay, so I brought up the little disc with me, and I will put him in. I think there's one in here right now. The one I have in here is from my Ender3. There's the other Ender3 is currently printing. See if I can get this thing out. Swapping hands around. All right, so did I hit the preheat? No, usually I like to do that, to go to the prepare and then go all the way down and go preheat PLA, preheat, oops, I'm not showing it, let me go back, sorry. So let me go back to this, I didn't show it, info screen. So I hit there, I go prepare, come down, preheat, no, not ABS, sorry, preheat PLA. And then just hit preheat PLA, and that'll be both the bed and the end. Might as well just try it out. I didn't have to do that preheat, by the way, because you could just go ahead and print from the card. So hit here and go print from TF, and it doesn't show. Oh, there it is. Okay, it just took a minute before it showed up. All right, so this is the Pro, and here's the gear without the raft. So in a perfect world, we just hit this and it would print and everything would be fine. It still has to wait to heat up. It's still at like, what, 120 and climbing. It says, oh, it's going to go to 175 first and then go all the way the rest of the way. So we can go ahead and probably pause this as we're waiting for an awful noise. So this was not starting off too badly. It actually had a little bit of the orange left in it, you could see. Oh, no, there you go. See, it fell apart, it failed. So we have to stop it. So you see that's the choice is stop print. And discard the, get that off too. Yeah, and that didn't stick very well. So I think with the amount of unstickiness to this, it needs glue. So we will try it again. Might be worth doing, just going right to the raft. Don't know. Let's see, I'm trying to do this one-handed. You don't need to go crazy on this, and we probably want to stick to, no pun intended, just to the region where we're printing. Don't need to go crazy with the glue, crazy glue. All right, so let's try it again. Sometimes we might need to clean the nozzle up, so you have to be on the lookout for it. So if you do the little move thing, and by the way, I like this. I forgot to show the thing again. Here you go. Here goes back info screen. All right, so we go to there, go to prepare, go to move axis, go to Z, and then just go. Now you have an option to go down to 10 millimeters, and so you can go. I don't need to go that many, so let me back up down. So that's 105, like 4 inches, and so you can kind of look at the bottom of this and see if it's all gummed up. This thing's going to be hot, but if you don't care about your little fingers, try to clean that off a little bit. It looks like it's okay. That can get gummed up. So hopefully it'll stop. Hope I didn't go too high. That's more than 4 inches. I think it's going to go to the original thing that I meant and then come back down. Well, I'm a little nervous I might have made it too high. Okay, there we go. Jeez. It's probably going to go back to 4 inches now. I can go and come back to info screen. I think I have to wait for it to stop moving. This is an exciting video. I'll probably trim it off. There you go. There you go. I think I can just go ahead and hit print. And I'm going to do the one this is the Pro. And I'll try the gear again. It's got to heat up. It's all the way down to 36 degrees. The one thing I noticed right now is this thing is moving really fast. See that? And of course, it's like not this. I probably would go back in and adjust the slicer so to slow this thing down on the first layer, the first several layers, because it really doesn't have much of a chance of sticking. But let me go ahead and shut this down and put some more glue on it, and then do a little raft first. Because usually the raft is slow. So because I don't have the computer with me up here, but yeah, this is definitely kind of ugly. One thing I just noticed is that right here, there should be this black rubber thing all around. It's like an insulator. Because there's a fan right here, that could cool the tip. That heat exchange is pretty sensitive, and I gotta try to see if that black piece is somewhere around. I think it should be on there. I'm gonna try with the raft again, but I suspect one of the problems I'm having with adhesion is that temperature. But here, so I will print from the TF there and go to the raft. This is the one with the Pro, right? Because this is this is Ender3 Pro. Right there. I think we're kind of. I hope that's not the case. All right, it's going pretty fast still, but that looks like, I don't know, looks like it might be sticking. Hard to tell. I still think the speed, oh, I see a little strain coming on here. And so that looks like, all right, so we're gonna come back to this and see. I'm gonna go check on my other print. But the raft seems to be the way to go right now. You can see that I do have, from the smudgy looking area where the glue is. But you never know, that could start peeling up. It's all a game of temperature. Of being a high enough temperature, and the cooling rate also needs to be kind of balanced out. Here we can see that it's made the raft. The raft looks like it's stuck pretty well, but now the gear is being stuck to the raft. And it does a pretty good job. It's a waste. The raft is wasted material, but at least it's sticking. You can see the time. It says it's been printing. I don't know if I believe that. It says it's 9% done, and what's remaining is 8:36. I don't think it could possibly be 8 hours and 36 minutes. Maybe it has been printing for 58. I don't know. I want to check that. That's all right. So I think I can decide that this one is a success, even though we are still only at 15%. I don't even know what that remaining means anymore. It can't possibly be 6 hours and 10 minutes. But anyway, I'm going to stop this one, and we will. I'm going to bring this printer up to the other room. So here's one of your options, and I was able to find the little rubber thing that is supposed to be over the nozzle, I believe, on the other printer. So I might check out and see what happens with that one. See if it might not need it, but it might help. So I'm going to stop this one. We'll see. And all right, so it moves this thing out over the side. Just clean up a little bit here. Now, often what you need to do is just wait for the thing to cool down. You can just pick it up with your fingers sometimes off of the piece, but this is really stuck on there. I can try not to scrape. In fact, I'm not even putting the scraper up there because I don't want students to use it the wrong way and scratch my bed. Should probably clean that up a little bit, not using your fingers like this, but you could see that the gear stuck to the raft, and that we could, I'm not sure there's enough of it on there. We might be able to peel it off. Nope, try not to impale. All right, so this seems to be working pretty well with the raft on this one. I don't know what to tell you. If it doesn't work, you just got to keep trying different things. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's the temperature. Sometimes when it's at the beginning, it's the speed. It's also the cleanliness or the amount of glue that you put onto the bed plate. So here's my nasty note to other people, and here is the two. So you have two 3D printers. Don't monopolize them. Don't make crazy large pieces that when you can make a smaller, thinner, more sensible piece. 2 things of PLA, 2 kilograms. You could use up some of the orange, even though I'll get some more from ASME. There's a little bit of this purple left. There's a little bit of this blue left. I'm going to shut these down. Shut this down. And I think maybe I'll leave this one going. I don't know. According to this, it says from reading this right. It's only 3% done. It's because it's doing a lot of raft. And it's been going for 36 minutes. So you could probably back out what that means. I'm not 100% sure that it would come out with the accurate amount of time. But it works. I didn't replace the little rubber piece. I put it back into the box over here. I don't know if it matters. It's usually sort of a tight fit. Right here it is. That guy right there. You can see it really only goes on one way. Can't quite tell from the other one. The other one has a different looking nozzle assembly. So anyway, hopefully that'll help you get on your way and overcome any printing issues that you have. The rest is up to you. Isn't that a lovely sound in the background? Good night.